If we may get into a certain kind of habit which can enable you for being good to great, be it when it comes to your command on language, your grammar, your rich vocabulary, maybe great ideas, upgrading yourself, kind of self-evolution rather. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much again. So this is the 55th book in our journey of book reading series. Yes, and most respectfully, if I may pick up a very bold topic, that's basically sex. Many times we see that though it's an integral part of our day-to-day life, right? But the point which makes me a little concerned is that it keeps hovering around. I'm going to talk about the men because being a man, I can talk more about my experience, isn't it? Our experience being a man. I can't talk more about women, so please pardon me. That's an effort, and we have seen, self has seen that most of our thoughts are pertinent to that, the sex. And as we grow from teenager till, I don't know, maybe in 40s, 50s, 60s, there is no end to it. It's not a problem that, it's a natural process. It's like, part and parcel of a life, because it enables for great married life, brings in good happiness, fine. But the problem is, with due respect to all of us, that, when it gets stuck to it and it inhibits our journey, it makes us very much biased when it comes to a personal as well as professional life. That we get gender bias, we get, something we get into, we land up at injustice towards our people, especially when it comes to team, yeah. So how long we are going to do that? The moment we get out of this habit, this addiction, this being a maniac towards it, it's high time, it's very imperative at a certain age that we need to let go of this and we become a master, not a slave to it. And as and when required, as a married person, you see, with your spouse, definitely we should enjoy it, yeah. And if you ask me, it should lead to self-actualization, freedom, bliss, great health, yeah, great physical health, mental health, spiritual health. That's what I keep talking about, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is a book. In fact, I have been listening to Osho. I'm an Osho sannyasin. In late 90s, I stayed in Pune ashram also, Osho community ashram also, and this is the book. I think everyone knows about it. This book I had actually glimpsed through when I was in school days, and I could flip through few pages, and then I had actually thrown this book because I was not ready by then. I was not able to digest some of the insights. But during my second or third job, maybe 20 years ago, when I revisited this book, and then I became a sannyasin or a follower or maybe a disciple of the guru, who is most understood. Osho is most understood. He's not a guru who promotes sex, but he, in fact, let me be very, very honest with you, my personal experience, who enables you to free from this kind of addiction, and look at it in a very healthy way as a very divine energy, and let it not make you a slave, so that you suffer on rest of the things, be it personal or professional life. So this book is all about that. Maybe if you ask me, during an orgasm, what we actually experience is a spiritual dimension, egolessness, timelessness, spacelessness, right? There is no other, because there is no other, but we melt into each other. And during those moments, those few seconds, right, we experience different dimension, and then we fall back again. And if you're not actually comprehended that fact, self-actualize that fact, what actually it is, then we keep, then we remain slave to it. We keep on doing again and again after certain intervals. But the moment we glimpse the truth, the Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, whatever you call it, you see, then you will start, liberating yourself from it. And the moment when you start liberating from it, you will see that lens, that film which is there on your eyes or maybe around you, it drops like a skin of a snake, which is not required anymore. Or maybe you would be looking through the lens to the world, right? So you become like childlike, because till the time child is not infused by this sexuality or whatever, the change in hormones, because which is why he gets into that, later on, and he looks at the world in different way, isn't it? But until he has not got, is different. So once you liberate yourself, you become again childlike. If you ask me, the world becomes so beautiful. You start seeing things so beautiful. Every being, every species, every person, irrespective of the gender, you will see for the first time they are so beautiful. Because earlier you were biased. You had certain criteria. Based on that, you used to say, oh my God, she's so hot, she's so sexy, or whatever, gorgeous or something like. But the moment you conquer that thing, then you start looking other things also, isn't it? So earlier it's like extreme. Someone looks very ugly to you, or someone looks very hot to you, because you have certain criteria, you have certain perspective, you have certain lens. But that lens drops, then the world appears to be beautiful, isn't it? For the first time, the fountain of love, if you ask me, it rises, and you will be filled with a lot of freedom, a lot of bliss, a lot of great feeling, in fact. And then you won't be unbiased, be it professional area. You will treat everyone equally. You will give time to everyone, irrespective of the genders, irrespective of the communities, all kinds of discriminations fall. The first time, if you ask me, you emerge as a great leader. Only then you will be able to do the justice, right? Otherwise, you are in the grip of that. So I strongly urge to my friends, basically, it is not about Osho, or it's not about this book. It's all about this thing that we need to get over to it. Yeah. And again, to reiterate, to repeat, respect this practice of life. When it comes to a married life, one should have it, but in the most healthy way. I'm not going to get into the details. Yeah, but at the cost that you are going around and you are inviting problems for your own family. And I think I personally don't feel it right. So this is basically from sex to super consciousness. Super consciousness, I'm not going to get it, because it's individual, personal perspective, understanding. Maybe if you can call me that energy, that divine energy. So you are not a person, but you are a presence. You start living as a presence, as a divine presence. And the presence, there is no gender, there is no species, there is no form, in fact, right? So you will look at the world will appear to be very different. Maybe you will see yourself as a form, we are just the dots, who appear and disappear in this eternity of that energy. So if you start living as that super consciousness, not as a person, but as pure presence, you see, pure energy, then maybe you will start having different thoughts. As we know, the body regenerates on itself. It takes certain time. The skin, even the bones, every organ, every part of our body has certain time period to regenerate. So let's regenerate when it comes to our brain cells as well, because they have been stagnating with this thought of sexuality. Yeah. Not the sex, but the sexuality. Yeah. Sex is part and parcel. Look at animals, they just have it, and they just, they are not in the grip of it. They are not slave to it, isn't it? Yeah. They don't keep thinking, keep ruminating about this thought. You keep fantasizing about this thought. And this fantasy, we have seen, many people become, I don't know, this could be a mental disorder, medical disorder, they become rapist. Now, it actually leads to all kinds of violence if you closely observe. Maybe at your workplace, maybe, irrespective of any position you are, higher the position, because the ego, the position, the power, the pesa, it corrupts you more. And if you are into this kind of sexuality, then you will start exploiting people. And we need to respect women. Yeah. And the true respect comes when we actually conquer this biochemical, social, mental addiction to the extent, we become so blinded, so get over to this, and believe me, the world will look so beautiful, so beautiful.